only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Time for the Real Everyday Movie Fan. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And today we are giving you our real-time review of Ready Player One.
You've been pretty excited about this.
I have been. I was very excited to see this movie. We saw it last night. I mean, I've read the book 3 times. I love it completely. I'm going to read it again. But this is the movie. We're talking about the movie itself. Mm-hmm. Who is all in this thing? Who directed it, of course?
Well, of course, the director was some guy named...
what's his name?
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg.
What's he
done? Some stuff. Like a movie about a fish or something. Anyways, yeah, Ready Player One is directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cook, Ben Mendelsohn, Simon Pegg, T.J. Miller, Mark Rylance, Lena Waithe, and Hannah John Kamen. So,
quite a bit of people in this movie.
Go ahead, give us your score out of 10. Tell us what you thought, Josh.
I still had a lot of fun watching this movie. There was some problems for sure. It definitely has some problems that still stick with me, but I can see myself definitely going back to the theater and seeing this more and more again. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I thought about maybe dropping it lower, but after I kept thinking about it all day, but regardless of the problems I had, I still had so much freaking fun with this movie. What really did it for me was bringing the Oasis to life like I imagined it reading it in the book. Now, for those of you who have read the book, if it did the same for you, jump in the comments. I want to know your thoughts on that. But for me, I don't know how you felt either, but just how Steven Spielberg was able to bring the Oasis to life was everything I imagined it wanted it to be and more. There was a couple things I wish they would have still added to it, like the book had in the Oasis itself, but regardless of that, loved it. There's so much more I liked, but we'll get on to you. What was your score, and what did you think for your first thoughts here?
This is probably going to be a shock to a lot of our viewers, but I was disappointed with this movie. And
He's disappointed in the movie?
I'm going to probably give it a 6 out of 10.
You still give it a fresh score, though, so...
Yeah, but I really thought a lot about this. Like, I thought about dropping it lower and saying not recommending, because I walked out of that movie kind of bummed, but like to the average moviegoer, it's like, I mean, I think if you're going to get some of the... I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 mainly because it's just still fun watching some of the action sequences and the references. Of course, like one of the main attractions is the references, all these pop culture things coming in, seeing the skins that people put on of these guys and the spaceships and the vehicles and all that stuff is still fun. The rest of it doesn't suck just enough to...
Warren, a
get like
score.
a 6, yeah. So it's like I'm wavering over that, but like so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can see some of your, because we talked a little bit about it before.
Yeah.
I can see some of your complaints, so we'll tell them and we'll talk about it some more here.
Yeah.
I will say, Go
ahead, give your positives first.
Yeah, of course, I'm gonna give some of my positives. Of course, besides the world building, besides how the Oasis felt, I still loved the feel and thrill of the adventure. Like the feeling of adventure was there, and only Steven Spielberg is a master at doing that. And I will say, I looked at some of the other reviews, and some people say it's kind of a return to form to old school Spielberg for that sense of adventure and action. Yeah. And it does do that, for sure. And that goes on the lines, too, with what helps that is the cast. I mean, with the characters they were given, which there's a couple decision drivers for character development that I didn't necessarily like that were changed from the book. But besides that, the character, Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cook, the cast did a fantastic job. Even Ben Mendelsohn, who plays the villain, did a great job. Even when I was reading the book, I kind of envisioned him playing, Ben Mendelsohn playing his character. I really did, before I even knew who the cast was. I will say, everyone knows who has ever followed us since the beginning, I'm not a huge Mark Rylance fan. I think he's a little overrated. Sorry, Mark Rylance, if you ever happen to see this. But I will say, this was his best performance I've ever seen him in. But some of the dramatic scenes were really great. I thought he did a great job playing James Halliday. There are some other things I really liked, but what about you? Some of the things, I mean...
like I said, the action sequences and, the casting was good, and some of the character stuff worked, but one of the things when we get into, the negatives and stuff...
why don't you go ahead and talk about
some of the stuff they changed from the book just does not work as well, and there's a reason it was that way.
I agree with that one.
And they're changing it. Like some of the changes are just done for the sake. Well, a lot of the changes are done for the sake of raising the stakes. The book, they definitely have stakes because it's in a virtual reality world. So when I first read the book, started reading the book, I was like, well, how's this going to have any like real stakes to it? And and it does have those, but the movie tries to raise them a little bit, and it tries to add more to the climax in that way. But a lot of the stuff they tried just does not work.
Not as effective. Not as effective.
Some of the stuff is just stupid. Like there's one moment we talked about. There's one aspect of the film, like as we approach the climax, is just dumb as rocks. And I will say that a lot of it just feels like forced, and it feels kind of like we're just plodding along, and I felt bored, and I was like, okay, let's move on. Like, they're just doing this stuff that I know isn't in the book, and I know is just sort of like being forced in here in order to force a plot line that doesn't really need to be forced, because, again, they're adding it from the book, like, and I know that it doesn't need to be in there, so it's feeling like, oh my gosh, this is just weighing everything down. T.J. Miller's character ate up a lot of screen time. 100% unnecessary.
Yeah, I will agree. While I do love T.J. Miller, he's right in Deadpool and everything else. I felt like his character, at least for him, as much character time as screen time as he had, was a little bit like you could have taken him out, and some of the things could have. A lot of it still would have worked.
And it wouldn't have just worked. It wouldn't have worked better. And I watched this movie, and I'm astonished that someone like Steven Spielberg, who's been doing this for so long, can't watch this movie and say we need to cut those scenes out. It doesn't. It does nothing to the movie. It's wasting screen time. I'm astonished by that.
There actually were a few things that changed for the. I wouldn't say the better, but they still worked really well. As what they did change. This is not necessarily a spoiler, because some of you haven't read the book or seen the movie. They changed how the quests go about as far as him getting the keys. I'm okay with that. How those things changed, they actually worked just fine.
A lot of the other stuff.
But a lot of the other stuff, as far as them, like things that could have added some more gravity to the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some stuff that they actually there was some stuff in the books that added to the stakes that they took out and then made their own way of raising the stakes.
And like I said, you can change it all you want, but when you change it, and it makes it not as gravitationally effective as far as the stakes are concerned. That's what I think what we're both agreeing on here is that I'm okay with change. I'm perfectly okay with it. But when you change it and it just doesn't still work within the confines, even still the movie of telling the story, that's when I have a problem with it. And
there's also, I forgot to mention, there's a lot of lack of character development in the movie.
A little bit.
The first part, stuff happens, people fall in love with people that just like. They could have easily zipped in a montage or something there that just doesn't work.
And with
again,
that,
I'm astonished that Spielberg would have.
And that I wish they would have spent some more time with the. Well, this is one of my negatives. I wish there was more time spending with character development within the team of the high five and stuff. I wish there was more there as far as feeling that connection, kind of like how they do with the house, how the
Instead
Goonies.
Of T.J. Miller.
Well, just kind of like how the Goonies was, or stuff like that, where you really felt the camaraderie of the team and the chemistry there, as far as them being together. It wasn't as effective as I would have liked it to have been. But besides that, I mean, overall, I can still highly recommend this. Besides all the problems I personally had, this was a great, fun thrill ride. Sorry, for me personally, this gave me that feeling of why you go to the movies, why you go there to have fun, watch a great blockbuster on the screen with great action and adventure feel to it, and the references were just great. And that's one thing for me for this movie. I'll probably still, even though I have my problems, I'll still probably see it 3 or 4 more times, just because of the fact there's so many Easter eggs. There's so many references that I didn't even catch. Like another friend of ours, Sean, went and saw, and he saw something in the beginning. And I was like, I didn't see that at all. So now I want to go back and see if I can catch some more stuff that I may not have seen, and still get the nerd inside of me will still have a great time at this theater. That's what I guess that's what getting it for me. The nerd in me had a blast, but the film reviewer in me still saw some problems I feel like could have been better. What about you, though? Can you still recommend it even with the 6?
Yeah, just kind of barely. But, go see it for, the references and for the action scenes. But read the book. After you're done, go read the book.
Oh, my God. And if you can, listen to the book, because
Will Wheaton
narrates it, and it kind of adds something extra to it for some reason. I really love it.
I would actually recommend just getting the audiobook.
Get the audiobook. It's really great to listen to. But, hey, we both recommended it. Please go check it out. It's out this weekend for a 4-day holiday. It's out now. Check it out. That was it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And what did you think of Ready Player One if you have seen it already? Leave your comments section below. Give us your positive, negatives, and your score out of 10. Also, if you like what you watched, then hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel so you can receive more of our various content in the future. Also, like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. The links are in the description below. And that's all we have for you today. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.